That's like it for my CEO at the hospital.
See?
Oh, so he's in possession of stolen property.
You go.
I wish I had one like it.
What state is that from?
I don't even remember. He just told he had a bunch
Oh,
of
that's a shame. It's a memorable state. It stands out. So,
The only one standing out in my mind right now is the
I guess it
wife.
been here,
It's like
Funny.
consulting company or something.
what?
Consulting company or something.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, what is it?
It's an electric company from Montana. So,
Oh,
I mean, it's,
you were in the club. All I know is I told her.
weren't even
There she
close.
went.
I'd like to go ahead and call to order. Ask everybody to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a roll call, please.
Mayor Householder,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Farmer,
Present.
Councilmember Fry,
Present.
Councilmember Bader,
Present.
Councilmember Hicks, Councilmember Tanner,
Present.
Councilmember Koenig.
Present.
The next one would be approval of the agenda. Can we get a motion to approval of the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll support.
Mr. Mayor, I'd ask that 2 items be added to the agenda under unfinished business.
Okay.
Under 9C, I would ask that the agreement with Ryan Fellows be added to the agenda. And I guess it would be actually new business under 10. I would ask item B be added to discuss Freedom of Information Act changes that are very recent. That will require council action.
Okay. Can I get that motion modified?
Yep, I'd like to amend my motion to approve the agenda with the added items.
And I will amend my support for the same.
Any more discussion on it? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Then the next ones will be the approval of city council minutes for January 5th, 2015 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the January 5th, 2015 regular meeting minutes.
I'll support.
Any more discussion on it? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next one, a motion for the January 6th, 2015 meeting.
I'll make a motion that we accept the Tuesday, January 6th special meeting minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion on it?
I do. Down on where the motion was presented by Councilmember Koenig and seconded by Councilmember Hicks to go back into open session. There was no time entered there as to what time we opened.
On the Thursday, January 6th, 2015, it's a special meeting adjourned. Okay, adjourned at 7:58.
Is when we went back into executive.
Closed session. Entered closed session at 7:25 p.m. There's no time.
I need to tell you. I have that with the amendment.
Do you have any time that was reopened or not?
Closed session minutes were in the box.
Oh, over there, sorry. I thought you
We went into open session at 7:50.
What time was it?
7:50 is the time. 7:50. According to our minutes.
7:50.
Oh, from the closed
According
session minutes.
according to our closed session minutes, 7:50 is the time.
Yep.
So if that's accurate, then can we get that,
Yes, I will amend my motion to include the time that we went back into open session to 7:50 PM.
And I'll amend my support.
okay, any more discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Special meeting approved with the modification to add the time for re-entering normal open session. The other one is for January 6, 2015, special meeting, acting city manager. It should probably be changed to additional duties as city treasurer.
Well, that's what it says on ours. Ours says continuation
not
of
in the
additional
agenda.
duties.
Where's that?
On this one, Tuesday, January 6th, it
What is
says
It's-
continuation
It's
of
on the
additional duties.
agenda as acting city manager, but. it's
Okay, but on the
yeah,
minutes, it does say
continuation, yeah.
continuation of additional duties for city treasurer.
Okay. No, I mean, on the Tuesday, January 6th, is a continuation of additional duties for the city treasurer, Tuesday, January 6th, 2015. Okay, do I have a motion for the approval on that?
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
Any more discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next one is approval of accounts payable and payroll for $324,106.88.
I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable and payroll in the amount of $324,106.88.
Any discussion on it? Okay. No discussion on it. Can we have a roll call on it, please?
Councilmember Koenig,
Yes.
Councilmember Tanner,
Yes.
Councilmember Hicks,
Yes.
Councilmember Bader,
Yes.
Councilmember Frye,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Farmer,
Yes.
Mayor Householder.
Yes. Motion approved. Going down the list is item number 7, other regular business, resolutions, proclamations, reports, and presentations. One of the first ones is A, is Bangor Community Fire Department annual report.
I have a handout too, I'd rather follow that. Of course, my computer went to sleep, so now I'm gonna wake up.
Derek and Jeannie look. Oh, dear.
Are you killing my Wi-Fi, is that what it is?
You shouldn't need it for what you're doing, but I am probably soaking up quite a bit of your internet.
You want the lights down?
Yeah. I had it all keyed up, ready to go earlier, and my computer rebooted. Hey. that? All right.
Brian.
This is our annual end of the year calls for the year. Last year for 2014, we ran 585 calls total for our area, which amounted to 449 of those were medical calls. We had 18 vehicle accidents, 43 fires. We'll talk about fires on the next screen. We had 9 fire alarms, 40 canceled en route or false fire alarms, and 26 other. Other would be power lines down, trees down, that kind of stuff. So as you can see, 80% almost of our calls are medicals. The standard, ever since we started running medicals 6 years ago, is pretty much the nationwide standard. 80-85% of fire departments' calls are medical calls. Here's a little breakdown of the 43 fires we had last year. 11 of those, 21 of those were actual structure fires. Not just in our area. We ran a lot of outside mutual aid calls too, to Hartford, South Haven, a few in Columbia last year. So 21 of those were structure fires. We had 2 chimney fires, 6 vehicle fires, 13 grass, brush fires, and then we had 2 illegal burns. And both of the illegal burns are here in the city. So
Could you speak to that for a minute so everybody knows that they have to get a permit?
yeah, I'll
Thank you.
Actually, can I wait till the end?
Yes, you may.
Don't.
I won't let you forget. Okay.
I practiced this.
Sorry.
Bangor Township, just real quick, some of our other areas. We ran 153 calls in Bangor Township, 128 of those medical, so 84 of our calls in Bangor Township were actually medical calls. A few fires, some vehicle accidents. But here's the city of Bangor. We ran 284 calls in the city last year. 239 of those were medical, so 84% of our calls in the city are medical calls. And I've touched on that before, and I'll repeat myself that the reason why we run that many medical calls in the city is because of the, not the population of the people, but the amount of people that live in the city, and that we have more apartments, more multifamily dwellings here in the city, and so we just run more medical calls in the city limits. We ran 4 vehicle accidents. We actually had 5 fires. I think we had 1 structure fire, a couple kitchen fires. One didn't amount to much. We had 14 canceled false alarms. So they would tone us out to go to an alarm and then cancel us before we even got there. 13 other, most of those were during the storms last year, the power lines down, or the storms we had, power lines down. And we had 9 fire alarms. We actually run, most of our fire alarms happen inside the city. We run to the school quite a bit. We run to different businesses that have fire alarms here in the city. Arlington Township, 109 calls, 80 of those were medical, so a little under 73% of our calls in Arlington Township are medicals, 2 more fires, vehicle accidents. Our response times, we had a 4.55, just about 5-minute average response time for our total area. Nationwide average for full-time fire departments is 7 to 8 minutes is the nationwide average. We are very fortunate that we have a very good response time, and it helps because most of our calls are in the city. Our response time in the city is 3 minutes. Most of our responders live in the city, so it kind of helps bring those numbers equal. Bangor Township, Arlington Township, right at 5.5, almost response time. And then our mutual aid, anytime we go outside of our coverage area to South Haven, to Hartford, Columbia, we're right at 10 minutes for our mutual aid response time. Little other facts. Some of our where we ran our time frame of our calls. 42% of our calls happen between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. 41% of our calls happen from 4 p.m. to midnight. Our slowest time is midnight to 8 a.m. That's the reason 3 years ago we put on a part-time person here during the day. We have another person besides myself here, from 8 to 4 Monday through Friday to help with those 42% of those calls when most of my paid on-call volunteers are at work. Last year, you can see the majority of our calls actually happened on Saturday and Sunday. Last year, I think Friday was the busiest day, and so it just kind of, there's no rhyme or reason why these numbers up here, why these numbers change. It's just is what it is. But gives you kind of an idea when, what days were busier last year than others. But these numbers right here have changed very little since we started keeping track of it 3 years ago. So it's been right at 41, 42, 43% of our calls are during the day. Some of the training stuff that we've done this past year, most of you know that we bought into a training facility with South Haven. We have a training tower. I think we have a picture of it you'll see in a second. It's a 2-story training tower that we can do live burns. We can simulate basement fires. We can simulate bedroom fires. We can simulate all kinds of stuff in this 2-story facility. So we go there about 6 times a year on our Tuesday night training. We go to South Haven and train for 2 hours and then come back. Last year we grouped up with them and brought in a company from out of state that talked about different hose and nozzles and combination of different things with different manufacturers of hose brands. And most people don't realize we have an 1 3/4 inch fire hose, but one manufacturer different manufacturers produce different hose that you can get different gallons per minute out of depending on what's the hose. So it was a good learning curve on different things. This was an all-day Saturday class, and then half a day on Friday we talked about building construction. So it was a good class this last summer. There's our training tower. You can see some of the activities that we were doing, some escape out of the bedroom window and different things. There's a barn fire we had outside of town. I just thought that was a pretty cool picture. That was just south of town here this last summer. Most of you remember that Alice Christen retired after over 25 years. I think she ended up saying she had 28, 29 years of serving on the fire board. One of the biggest things last year was the acquisition of the 31 Rio. If you haven't seen it, if you want to leave, before you leave, it's sitting out in the bay. You read about the history of it in the paper. That's Dwayne and Elmer Goss driving it in the 4th of July parade this past year. So one of the things we helped out with, me and my captain Jimmy Ellis, we went to Kalamazoo to help greet Whitey Merkel as he came back with the Talons out on our flight, World War II vet. Some of the different parades, Christmas parade, I believe that's the Memorial Day parade at the bottom. Pancake breakfast, most of you all will come to that every 3 times a year. We're still going to do it Memorial weekend, 4th of July, and Labor Day weekend this year, so we'll have our 3 pancake breakfasts. Some fire prevention. Our bounce house that we went in with a few years ago, we take it to South Walnut and set it up every year during October for Fire Prevention Week, and the kids just absolutely love it. We went into one of the preschools. We actually went into every classroom also this year at the elementary school, and we went to the preschool this year and did some stuff with the little kids. Pictures there. Some other projects, we helped out with Project Santa. Donated quite a bit of money to help them with their project, and we went there for the day, helped pass out or helped deliver toys to the cars, and helped over 300 families that came through that day to get presents. New project that we started this year along with Positively Bangor, we helped out with the first snowball dance. There's Santa Claus.
And the Halloween.
And the Halloween, yeah. There's Santa Claus dancing with my wife. Some of the things that we give back to our community. Most of you know that we're very involved in this community. We do our fundraisers every year. You guys help us out greatly with our pancake breakfast and our picture drive and different things. And in turn, we give a lot of money back to this community. Project Santa confronted me about 2 weeks before their event, saying that they have about another 90-some kids that they can't fund because their funds were so short this year, because usually they do a bowl-a-thon at the bowling alley. That couldn't happen this year, so she was getting pretty desperate, and so I said, we can help you. And so we've helped them in years past. We helped them again this year. We also sponsor a team on the Bangor Summer Ball Program. We sponsor a Relay for Life team for the Cancer Relay for Life. We also sponsor 3 families through We Care to help buy Christmas presents for their kids. We also do some advertising at the school, at the gym. We pay for a banner there and pay for a banner down at the ball field. So a little over $3,000 that we gave back to the community through the membership this year. Thank you. The biggest question about the illegal burns in the city is an ordinance about burning anything that is not bigger than a campfire. Basically, I got the ordinance in my office, but basically people that want to have campfires or they have to get a burn permit. You're not allowed to burn any trash, leaves, lumber, anything that makes nasty smoke. The only thing you're allowed in the city with a permit is a campfire, and the dimensions and everything are in that ordinance. So, any questions, comments?
And it's a free permit too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Usually I issue it for people ask for them for the summertime, and I'll go out there and inspect the ring to make sure it's you can buy the rings from Menards and different places, and so as long as it's a nice ring, it's not a 6 foot. We had one of those, one of our, exactly who I'm talking about, had a big ring around some stumps, thinking that was a approved fire pit, and it really wasn't. So, all right. Which was it?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's no. That's hysterical. I don't know if it's your a very safe one.
Okay, going down the list, next is the city attorney report.
At the last regular meeting, the council approved the arrangement that was made with Ryan Fellows for a mutual parting of the ways between Ryan as city manager and the city council. The terms of the final agreement have been reached in terms of they're all in writing and cleaned up. I'm aware that some of you caught the typo that was rather glaring that said he would be employed by the city through 2016. That was my error in terms of just a simple typo. That has been corrected in the final agreement, and just a few moments ago I asked the council to add to the agenda under unfinished business the authorization to execute the agreement. And so it is in final form, it is prepared and ready to be signed tonight. So I'm asking that that be taken up under unfinished business. I also mentioned earlier that Freedom of Information Act statute was recently overhauled to great extent. Legislature and their desire to make themselves seem relevant before they ended their term in 2014. The governor just signed it, and as of January 15th, the Freedom of Information Act is now part of the law has been changed. The changes are not effective until July, however. But what I've asked the council to do is under new business add the city FOIA policy to the agenda, because I would ask authority from the council to allow me to work with your FOIA coordinator, who is the city clerk, Kim Schmitz, to streamline your FOIA process. It needs streamlining, and it needs to be clear. Right now, the city operates under a Freedom of Information request procedure. It's city policy number 31. It's unclear when it was adopted, and I'm asking the council to allow me to do that. If I can complete that process within the month of January, it'll still be part of my flat rate charge basis to the city. So I would encourage you to let me work with her over the course of the next 10 days to kind of redo that. What I'd like to do is prepare the new policy to bring it into compliance in advance of the changes that aren't effective until July of this year. It's my understanding that there's one outstanding FOIA request remaining related to emails and text messages, and that Kim has been working or has communicated with a couple of you. Those are being provided, and I expect that that response will be provided in the coming next couple of days. I believe the response is due January 23rd. So, the controlling authority regarding the ethics charges, I would ask. I didn't ask the council to put this on the agenda under unfinished business, but I can tell you what I anticipate will happen next. At the next meeting of the council, I expect to be able to provide an interim report to the council in terms of the status of the investigation. And what I'm hoping will happen is at that time we would schedule a special meeting of the council for the following Monday. Or excuse me, not a special meeting of the council, I apologize. A meeting of the two controlling authorities for the Monday, second Monday in February, to receive the reports of the investigation. And then the controlling authorities would then receive the reports and would be able to make recommendations at that time to the city council for their next regular meeting in February. So I'm expecting this to be resolved in February. So that's where we are on the ethics charges. I had mentioned prior to the end of the year that we were going to have to discuss or reevaluate the flat rate basis of which that I've been charging the city, and I may regret that because it's going much more smoothly now, and I'm not being contacted as much. But January will be charged at a flat rate, but beginning February 1st, I am going to be going back to an hourly charge at the originally agreed upon hourly rate of $120 per hour or $135 an hour for litigation, anything involving the courts. And I actually think you're going to save money personally, and I think that will be reflected in the February invoice from my office to the city. And unless there are any questions, that's all I have tonight.
Okay, thank you. The next one is Department of Public Works report.
All right, during the month of December, we produced about 6.7 million gallons of water, with about 46 related service calls throughout the month, which would be turn-offs, reads, checks, and so forth. The distribution company, we had a main break, which probably all of you were well aware of, down off Division, which ran up substantial time and hours. It was a 2-inch distribution line that was not on the maps. There was no valve, there was no way to isolate it, there was no way to shut it off. So we had to do a whole lot of creative stuff to get it to what we had to do. It was basically almost 2 days, we shut almost every valve off that we could, and we still couldn't shut it off, and kind of depressurizing the system. We had a meter pit that was installed over off Walnut during a contractor install. The pit that was there was deteriorated and shot. It was worthwhile to put it back in and make it right so it won't freeze. We did some electrical work at well 7 to get the chemical feed pumps to work the way they were supposed to. And we also ordered some another round of meters. We were out of meters, so all the meters that quit working, we ordered a different version of meters to do a test on them. As soon as we evaluate them and get them in, I can give you an evaluation on those meters that we got in, and if we like them or don't like them compared to the ones that we've been using through the other vendors. We discharged about 30.5 million gallons of water out of lagoons into the adjoining stream. All sampling was done, was required, and everything was submitted and approved. Major streets during the summer was actually quiet. It was nice, a little bit of ice, nothing major. Local streets was about the same as the majors. Motor equipment repairs, nothing significant or major during the month of December. And same thing with parks. We had 2 burials during the month of December. Grounds and services, which is around City Hall, was ice and snow during the month of December. There really wasn't a whole lot of significant anything. Downtown services, we put the banners up and adjusted some more. We also did a light repair somewhere between November, December timeframe, where the ways about it. Questions?
And Mark, on the back here of your report, it's got the notification for the invitation to bid, and we got the 2009 Chevy Impala listed. That's a, I'm assuming a typo, because it was supposed to be 2007.
It's 2007. Yeah, it originally started 2009, I think.
Did you get a chance to install a shut-off valve that wasn't there?
Yes. Yeah, we were very creative in what we did, and during flushing, not knowing the system as well as probably anybody. When we flushed during the spring or during the early fall, when we opened 4 hydrants out on Cemetery Road, we were dropping the pressure down in this area. So I went back thinking, well, it was a punt, is what it was. We went out, opened 4 hydrants on Cemetery Road, and it dropped the pressure enough that we were able to slide it over the thing, install a valve, and shut it off. It was, again, it was a grasp. There's maps that show valves, they don't exist. They're all up along the M43 corridor. And with all the new streetscapes and everything over the years, they don't exist. The maps don't exist, the numbers don't exist, the footages don't exist. We tried to isolate it off M43, and you have 6 broken valves on the street of M43 in itself that are not operable. They can't, their top nuts are broken, you can't get to them, or they're buried, or they don't exist at all. So it was a punt, and it worked out. So now we know if we ever want to do it again, now we know how to do it in a much rapider way instead of trying to do it the logical way.
Mark, can you speak to the pumps down at Lions Park? The installation of the new pumps, can you speak to that for a second?
A while back, we installed a brand new pump at Lions Park. And the original pumps that were put in, and this goes back months, but the original pumps that were put in, when we started, we pulled the pump, we looked at it, we looked at the pump curve that was on there. It was originally spec'd by the engineers that it was supposed to be about 420 gallons a minute at 44 foot of head. And when we did the drawdown, it was doing about 120 gallons a minute at 40 foot ahead. So we looked at what the actual pump was spec'd for, and it wasn't even on the pump curve. So we had bought a new pump that was in the range at which it was supposed to be. And so we have a brand new one in there. We're still running the old one, which we're hoping it'll get us by. If not, we'll end up putting a brand new one in there, and it will be what is spec by engineering spec. Originally, from what I gathered when we first started, they were supposed to be 10-horse pumps. They put 7-horse pumps in. I can't find any documentation to explain why, where it came from, how it came from, but somewhere in the engineering documents from Fleece and Vandenbrink, it went from a 10-horse to a 7-horse. And again, I'm just assuming that what happened is they didn't expect to change the motor starters to 10-horse pumps, so they ended up downsizing the pumps and putting 7-horse pumps in, and they weren't sized enough. We added a $14 part to the old one, which is just a rubber gasket that keeps it sealed to the pump, and that is what kept that other old pump going. Had we done that probably a long time ago, it would have lasted a whole lot longer than what it would have had.
Have we addressed the issue with the venting of Lions Park?
The venting, I went through and I looked through all of it. The first thing I'd like to do is get some sort of plumbing evaluation at the DPW, DPS cost to look at what the venting is in the residence. It doesn't make any sense that the residents should have they call it a stink pipe. It's a pipe that goes up the top of the house. That should be the highest point of discharge, so all gas should go out there. If there's something that's not quite right, that would be the quickest fix. The next step is I'm looking at this spring, I want to go through and evaluate where the sanitary sewer actually runs and see if we can put a structure in and put an actual vent pipe on it, because it's a long run, and those lines are 1941 sewer lines. So I don't have a on it, there's not any drawings on it, so there might be a combination of just hydraulics of why it's going there.
Well,
The other thing that I evaluated is that there are several manholes along there that Eli decided
said
that
we
they
need-
didn't put venting on. But what we found is that they're sumped, and which means that the discharge pipes are here, and there's a space underneath it where all that solid waste gets in there and then becomes anaerobic, which is creates the hydrogen sulfide gas. So what we're looking at is this spring, we might be able to go in there and build up a concrete flow line, which is what most sewer has. So the water, it will not collect and it won't off gas. So those are one of two things that we're looking at.
Because when he was down there, he talked about the one, and it should have been raised up, and it should not have had a beehive cover on it so that water can also flow in there, because then what's happening is we're pumping water along with sewage, so we're paying to
Yeah,
pump
right now-
snow and water.
Correct. Right now with those beehive type castings, it's called I&I
Right.
infiltration. And yes, we are, and that's what happens when the snow falls, it comes in, it builds up, and then because of the heat, it freezes. It's not moving water, so then it builds up. And now that we're kind of aware of what's going on, we're gonna try and keep those all clear. But I think by probably this spring, we should be able to get a really good grasp. Like I said, because of the elevation change, I don't think there's any structures between him and the dwelling. So if we could get something outside, either a manhole structure with a venting.
And that's what he
Or
suggested.
something like that would be, but the other thing is there's hydrogen sulfide gas throughout the system all over. Everybody would get in their house, so there's traps that keep water in it. If there's a trap somewhere that's not installed correctly or something like that, that might be something, and that's why I said we pay for a plumber to evaluate it if it's something that we can do in the winter months, because it's a dangerous situation, and I don't want to say we do nothing, but that would be the easiest, quickest one. If there's something we could fix in the house to prevent it, and then long term this spring we can move on and do the rest.
Because I know that he had suggested two different times to the previous DPW that be done, and it wasn't, and I think that's what's caused.
I wasn't aware of that, but.
Yeah,
We-
twice.
We can bring him back in too. He is part of the MLI. He will give us services for free and evaluation. So anytime,
Michigan rural water.
we can get Michigan Rural Water to come back in and talk about it.
If I could get just any reports that were given, that would be fabulous, so we're not reinventing the wheel.
Okay. Yeah, because I know he's been here twice to discuss that problem.
Alrighty, moving down the list. Next one is police department report.
Okay. All right, so in the month of December and a little bit of January here, I did some inspections, and I was able to bring in $3,050 to the city. So that's very exciting.
Yay.
So we'll keep on trucking on that one. Full steam ahead, right? Last week I applied for that grant for the vehicle. I do encourage us to order the vehicle because that takes about 2 months. So with your okay, I'll go ahead and tell them to save one for us because they'll get the process a lot faster, because if we wait till, for the grant and then to order the vehicle, we'll be 4 months behind. So probably the grant will take a month to a month and a half, and we need to kind of be even with it, so. I toured last week all the schools' facilities and was able to get a good working relationship with the school staff. As a matter of fact, I've jumped on board with Van Buren Interim School District to partner with them, and they're applying for a grant for defibrillators for all the schools. And so by being a partner, hopefully we'll get a defibrillator as well at no cost to the city, so that's free is always good, right? Okay, that's what I think. I'm also trying to update all of our business contacts to make sure that we have the latest and greatest for every owner in businesses. So I'm making a personal visit, talking with them, getting their cell numbers and all that information. They'll take a little while, but we're kind of, starting the process. I visited the school board and the fire board already, just introduced myself to them and get a good working relationship with them. I've called the drug force people to make sure we're all on the same page, and they've committed that anytime we need anything that they'll be willing to help us, which is great. I'm also I met a couple of wonderful volunteers that are reserves for the sheriff department, and so I'm trying to steal them. I actually talked with the sheriff, obviously, because we don't want to, offend the sheriff. I talked with the sheriff today about it, and he's fine with us sharing the volunteers. And what I see happening with them is I see them as just a great PR tool for the police department. And I would love to put them in the schools or school events so that we're visible as a police department a little bit more. It doesn't cost the city anything, so I see that as a win-win. I also, today I just talked to a rep and getting a couple of uniforms for the officers for free. I love free. And they're gonna get, we're gonna get some nameplates, name tags embroidered so that everybody knows who everybody is. But I was just waiting, I don't wanna pay for an embroider for uniforms that are kind of BDUs. That's kind of what they're wearing now, and I'm not a BDU kind of person. I prefer a little bit more professional. So what I got is professional uniform, kind of like what I'm wearing, but a little bit more comfortable. Have side pockets with a zipper here on the side. It'll be very professional and comfortable, and that's the look that I'm going for. So hopefully they'll get in, within the next couple of weeks, and they'll be sized for the officers, so we don't have to pay for that. Yes. And I've set up some officer interview for part-time officers for next week already. I'd like to get at least somebody else on board or work towards getting some people on staff because, the summer's approaching. I want to have at least 1 or 2 trained people. So we'll see how that goes. And, doing many other things that I don't want to bore you with tonight. So any questions?
Yeah. What's the status on the Charger? We know, reported out that one of the tires was froze up this week.
Yeah, it's due to, from my understanding and talking to the dealership, I understand it to be a wrong kind of brake was put on there. And so that's why it froze, because if it was up to the specifications, it wouldn't have frozen. Now, that being said, obviously I don't want to pay for something that we don't have to pay for. So I asked the dealership, is it okay how can we avoid it? Now, if it happens again, we'll have to do something about it. But he said in the wintertime, if you keep it in the garage, which thank you, DPW, they've been kind enough, and the fire department offered for us to house the vehicle during, the cold spells that we have. Probably we'll do that during the winter anyway. I mean, it's good to have a vehicle in a covered place. Number one, it just saves on wear and tear. But number two, it's also good because, then people kind of don't know, is there somebody working, is there not somebody working? It gives that little mystery out there. So that's what happened. It was just extreme frigid weather and it froze. I also talked to the dealer and I asked him about, how is the vehicle, has it been maintained properly? And they assured me that it has due to their record. So I think we're good to go there. But I didn't want to spend any money if we didn't have to.
What about the ticking of the motor?
Yeah, that addressed at some point.
I mean, I figured the dealership would have said
Yeah.
it's a lifter.
Yeah, he said that the last time they checked it, everything was fine. So we just have to, get it in there when we have a sheriff's car available to use for patrol. And they've been nice when the car did freeze up. They gave it to us, for use while it was out of service, it was only out of service for just a little bit.
Do you know when it was? You said to their records, but I believe we paid a bill for $3,000 or $4,000, and it's supposed to somewhat address the motor issue because it was ticking pretty loud there, especially when you accelerated. Maybe a couple months ago or something. Maybe I think when Pompey was here.
To the dealership, or
I'm not sure where it was taken. I don't think it was the dealership. I think it was the place in TNT or the place in Coloma. Yeah. But either way.
But I don't think that was just an estimate, but I think TNT did work on it.
Yeah, I think they're the ones, but my point was with,
TNT didn't do any work on the Charger.
No?
It was all the dealer.
Okay.
And since we were involved with it, the only place that the Charger went outside of the dealer was just to get the camera put in.
No, and then Pompey also took it down there.
to ABC or whatever that place was.
The warranty, we never paid any fees or anything on the Charger.
I guess my question was just that I thought we had paid for some repairs to the motor.
Sure.
And I heard it the other day, and it's better than it was, but it's still ticking. So I don't know what they supposedly fixed.
See if there's a warranty with it. See if they'll, check it again for us for free and go from there.
I just don't want that motor to go.
Me neither, oh my gosh.
60-some thousand miles.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we checked. See if Chrysler will honor the warranty on that
Okay.
powertrain.
Okay.
heard it. It sounds like an exhaust leak from the underside on the backside,
Okay.
maybe close to the manifold. If they could, if they put it on a computer, it's not gonna come up with that, so it might be something fun to look at.
Okay.
And, does, you want us to approve buying the police car before we're sure we got the grant?
Well, I think you've already approved it, you've committed some funds, so the
Yeah.
20,000 is committed. So what I wanna do is I wanna be able to tell them, yes, we will be ordering a vehicle, so that we're put in line, in the production line, because the longer we wait, the longer we have to wait on the back end.
Okay, but, you know, when the motion was made, it was, stipulated that,
Sure.
part of it by a grant.
I was assured we'd get it.
And, do you have any idea how much of a grant we may get?
Well, up to 50%. But, Paul, who's the representative for this area for the USDA grant, I mean, he assured me that, because he's the one that, pretty much gives the grants out or oversees it. He pretty much assured me that we would get 50% of the grant, and, and I believe him.
So when do we need to do anything? I mean, we don't have anything on the agenda for that tonight, but
No.
is that something that we need to act on maybe at the next meeting, or?
It's nothing official, I mean, I just want to tell the dealer, yes, we're interested, please
Okay.
put us in the production line, that's it, you know?
Cool.
Most definitely.
Yeah, right, well, I wanna make sure, I wanna have your blessing with it, so that I, so.
Sounds good.
My blessing.
Yep.
We've already
Yeah.
added the funds.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds like a plan to me. All right.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Going down, so we need to establish a time, date, and place for the first police advisory committee meeting. Again. Based on the weather, pretty severe weather a while back, it was canceled. School and multiple other things got shut down.
I was talking to the chief here and earlier, and she suggested that we set it up, she could get it posted right after the meeting here, and that we would still, I think, fall within the 18 hours time period for having it.
What
If we
date
have
do
it
you guys
tomorrow
looking
night.
It's tomorrow at what,
Tomorrow.
7 p.m.?
Okay. So let's schedule that meeting. Can I get a motion to establish the meeting at 7 p.m. tomorrow night?
I'll make that motion that we have the police committee meeting at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening.
Yes, at 7.
City Hall?
That's it.
At
Yes,
City Hall.
at City Hall.
Do I have a second? I'm sorry.
Okay. Any more discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Meeting scheduled for 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Going down the list is item number 8, opportunity for public comments. Please state your name and keep your comments under 3 minutes, please.
That the chief has saved me. Kay Abbott, 309 East Darlington, apartment B3. We're having a lot of problems. Our apartments are falling apart and we can't get them fixed. Can we call an inspector in from the city to come over and look? I've been there in that apartment for 2 years and I haven't seen Leonard. Does he come over and inspect, or do we have to ask?
What's the address?
There should be some type of.
309.
Autumn Wind
East Darlington.
Oh, Autumn Wind.
If
Autumn
it's
Winds.
not a, occupancy or something like that, he hasn't
Right.
gotten rentals in several years. So, if you call and make an appointment,
Yeah.
definitely have him come over for some code and.
Well, I
do
thought
that.
every time the apartment is vacated, he has to do an occupancy permit again.
But
Yes.
she's
long
been
as
there
we
for 3
know
years.
Right. But
Years and
yeah,
they
but
want
Sometimes we don't know.
So
when
one
they
specific.
change.
Okay, so
Yeah.
one specific apartment could have
Not the
an
way they
issue.
go through apartments over there, we're always running.
No.
I know. I
But we
know.
don't know because the water's not in your name,
Right, right.
so we don't know when the apartments change hands.
Yep.
So I take it the landlord
It
just
would be,
isn't.
yeah, and they're out of Kalamazoo and evidently we can't get to them.
So can you
somebody
guys give
don't
Kay a
like us
number?
over there, the owner.
The number to call?
What are some of the issues you're having?
All right, I have a toilet that runs, it's been fixed 4 times. Refrigerator, brand new refrigerator door fell off on my kitchen floor. Now it sounds like a thrash machine.
Would that,
I can't lock the slider. I have a stick in there. The girl upstairs has got a broken tub. The microwave don't work. And then you can just go down the line and listen to these people. And it's getting, I pay my rent,
Right.
and they don't have any money to fix these things. That ain't right.
Medallions Management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name of the company.
Yeah, I know.
so with a complaint of that type, have her call down City Hall, and I think we could probably inspect it 2 different ways, one with code enforcement, and also even with the building inspector.
Right.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of complaints. Not just from older people either, it's young people that are in there. You know.
Yeah, please call down tomorrow, and we'll get you lined up.
Do you guys want to give her the number to call?
That's just regular city hall number, right?
Yep.
Yes.
5831.
Okay.
Talk to you all the time.
Okay.
We'll just have Leonard give you a call.
What number can he call you at, Kay? A phone number he can call you at?
539-7112.
Okay.
And also I called the officers twice last week. Or maybe it was this week, well anyway. The marijuana was so bad in our hall I couldn't even see. Officer come over, he come in, he went in every apartment to see if he could find it. Couldn't find it in the apartment. So whoever it is smoking in our hall, coming out of the apartment doing it, or coming from the door, outside door in.
Probably smoked it all.
It's horrible.
We just got some, we got them actually today.
Oh, no.
Well, one of them.
I was like, oh, no.
No, one of them was,
He's
well,
just
that's
like
the
one of them.
beginning, I appreciate that anyway.
Didn't get it, watched them get arrested, that's not, no.
I'm on this end, you got it down that end.
Yeah, but the thing is, when they say they have, because our lease state, but I'm Kathy Sparks, I'm Kim, you know me.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, our lease states no marijuana, even if you have a medical marijuana card. Now, last few months back, we had state, county, Bangor surrounded by, in the A building, looking for a gentleman who was being hid underneath laundry in this apartment. The woman answered the door, smoking a joint, and the officer said he could not do anything because she had a medical marijuana permit. They went, got my lease, and I said, look, not even if you have a medical marijuana card.
That'd be a
There's nothing you can do
management,
about it.
that'd be Medallions thing again. And if you can't get them to fix the leaking toilet, good luck getting them to
Yeah,
fix
right.
the.
Well, the maintenance man did. I don't know what he does, 4 times he's been in my bathroom and it's still doing it.
Yeah.
Well, my nephew's in the hospital from black mold, my baby nephew.
Yeah, we can't have that.
And they just moved in just before Christmas.
But for some reason, they've turned into slums. I don't know why, Lord. Now, come on, you know, nice yard. They put $3,000 in flowers around the building.
Not good.
Well, like I said, feel free, we'll get a hold of Leonard and probably the building
Okay.
inspector. We get a hold of you so you know you're home when they come. Okay?
Yeah,
And like you said, you can spread the word to other people, associates there, if they got issues, go to City Hall, we can set up
Right.
appointments, we can go after, and maybe if enough complaints, then something can be done.
alrighty, thank you.
All right. Going down the list, any more opportunities for the public comments? Any more comments?
I just wanted to, Teresa Wiles, Alexander Street, that our next event for Positively Bangor is we're gonna have an all-ages spring prom. And we'll keep you guys posted on when that's gonna happen. It's like a family prom.
Thank you. Any more comments? Moving down the list, unfinished business, the Winkle Water Tower lease discussion.
So what I would like to do with that is just keep you know, I think we need to have, figure out the city manager situation, but I really don't wanna see the council negotiate that, so much as let, whoever's the acting city manager, work with him to get us the best deal that we can on that, and, hopefully present that back to us sometime in the very near future, so that we can work on something long-term with him. So, maybe,
Well, I think we need to look at that too, in the fact that the memo that we got, that, you know, what we're paying per month in electricity for his tower to be sitting there, I think we really need to address that issue.
wait, we pay his electricity?
Did you get a chance to look at that, Mark, the utilities for the tower?
We pay his electricity?
We pay the utility bill for the whole area, for two wells and the tower, so we run all the electricity for county's radios, the rectifiers, everything runs through us.
I just want to remind you guys that the last time you guys approved a lease for 1 year, not knowing what the utilities were for the tower at $125 a month. These are the issues why I want to find out what we're doing before we go forward, because it doesn't make sense to take $125 a month for that tower.
After the meeting, I went and looked at the utility bill, and it was this month alone was, I want to say almost $300.
Yeah. So those are all things that, you know, it's okay short term, but we need to fix it before we enter into a long-term contract, you know, so.
Alrighty. Next one was B, police car bids. Motion to approve the 2007 Impala and 2003 Crown Vic.
And I believe that we were told those are gonna be sold as is that correct?
With a minimum requirement of $750.
On both vehicles, it's the minimum, okay.
So that's been posted, and we're just waiting on that.
We're waiting for, we did approve, because last time we had 07 and 09
Right,
and not
right.
the 03. So
Okay.
now we're just gonna do the 07 and the 03, and we'll advertise it starting tomorrow.
Okay.
Or the,
It'll be on Sunday.
yeah.
So I move to approve the sale of the 2007 Chevy Impala and 2003 Crown Vic with a minimum starting bid of $750 for each vehicle.
No second.
Any more discussion on it?
That's gonna be a sealed bid, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go do a roll call on that.
Councilmember Koenig,
Yes.
Councilmember Tanner,
Yes.
Councilmember Hicks,
Yes.
Councilmember Bader,
Yes.
Councilmember Fry,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Farmer,
Yes.
Mayor Householder.
Yes. Motion approved. Next on the list was the agreement with Ryan Fellows.
In your packets, there was a copy of the agreement. Typographical error was corrected on item number 4, that his last day of employment by the city shall be January 6, 2015. I also corrected the start date of his labor agreement that he had with the city wasn't January 1st, 2014, it was January 2nd. And he was placed on administrative leave by the council on November 20th. That date was also corrected. Other than that, the agreement that I'm asking the council to approve execution of is the same as the one reviewed. So the council simply needs to act and allow the mayor and the city treasurer sign the agreement. I do not have the signed copy yet from Mr. Fellows. His attorney is in Florida this week, as I understand it, but it's my understanding that Mr. Fellows has signed the agreement. You did see language in there with allowing him to revoke within 7 days. There will be no revocation. That statement is required to be there by law. There's no way to avoid that statement, but this arrangement is complete.
I move to approve the agreement with Ryan Fellows for his separation from the city of Bangor.
And authorize the mayor to
And
sign.
authorize the mayor and city manager?
City treasurer.
City treasurer to sign the agreement.
Thank you.
Support. Give it to Fred.
Any more discussion? Let's go ahead and roll call on it, please.
Councilmember Koenig,
Yes.
Councilmember Tanner,
Yes.
Councilmember Hicks,
Yes.
Councilmember Bader,
Yes.
Councilmember Fry,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Farmer,
Yes.
Mayor Householder.
Yes. Motion approved.
Can I ask a question? What are we doing with A? Are we putting that on the back burner again, or are we, with the water tower? I didn't really hear what we were doing with it.
At this time, we weren't gonna do anything.
We're just gonna back burner it for right
Yeah,
now.
looking back burner. I mean.
Yeah, I asked for whoever's gonna be city manager doing those duties to hopefully negotiate that lease, you know, and look into it further. I just don't want it to fall too far behind, but, I wanna hear about it again soon, so.
I think we need to
That's
do
what I
an
asked for.
investigation of electricity costs and everything else. If we're paying $300, how much is that on the tower versus the pumps and everything else? You know, it's a different story if it's $20 electricity on the tower and everything else on the pumps. If it's, you know, $200 for the tower, it's paying $150. So we just gotta get more details, information on it to make a better decision.
Got it. Thank you.
Business. Brought up, you know, we've been having our treasurer extended duties to help fill in as duties as city manager. It's time that we have to really appoint an interim city manager for the charter. It has to be done within 90 days. We have to hire a city manager and the last known city manager, which would be the date of January 6th, 2015. What I did over this week, I have contacted other people. The thing is, you know, our current treasurer has requested her input in becoming the interim city manager. Other people I've had contacted, other people that applied for the position previously as city manager. One was a gentleman named Tony Stegler. He's interested, doesn't have a lot of municipality experience, but his family has. He has a good business acumen. Part of the thing is with him also, he's not interested in an interim city manager position with no guarantee of becoming city manager. So he's kind of pulled out from a standpoint of interim, but he is interested in city manager's position. Other people I've contacted, one is in a room tonight, is Regina Hoover. She has been running Bangor Township for in her 11th year right now, doing budgets and agendas. Current time, she has been working as at State Farm, which she would gladly at this point step down if she was put in as acting or interim city manager. You know, basically part of those duties is dealing with the county. She's been doing, you know, with the state, local, federal government agencies, experiences there. She has written grants before. She's got some certification, 2-year assessing courses for H&R Block. She's experienced with charter ordinances, and she is experienced with the BSNA software. Another person that did send their resume into City Hall back in December, very experienced, Kurt Bender. He is actually a project manager / payroll manager at Caterpillar for about 13 years. He is no longer with Caterpillar, but he is a manager at one of the local. He is kind of familiar with state regulations and county regulations pertaining to OSHA, EPA, and other requirements like that, but not really much with municipality management experience. Great business acumen, basically because, you know, he has been a very high figure for Caterpillar. He has multiple degrees. Is somewhat familiar with charters, but not very much. At this point, too, he would be interested in the city manager position, but not an interim city manager. Basically, a lot of these people are saying, I can't give up a job now without knowing I'm going to have a job. Another person I did contact, a local person, pretty good too, was a guy named Peter Stanslawski. Peter, I felt, would have been an outstanding person with the experience he had as a city treasurer for years. He's currently doing a lot of work up there at Saugatuck, and at the current time, he's too busy to really go after become an interim city manager at this time. So basically, you know, we had those people in Lisa, but our biggest issue is now we need to put somebody in there for extra bodies in City Hall.
Can I make a comment?
Yep.
I had talked to Lynn about this about a week ago, and I personally go way back with Regina, like 2nd grade when I met her. So I've known her a long time. I've known Ms. Imus for a long time. I've been here right next door to her a year and a half ago, May of 2013. Okay. I was also familiar with her when she was in Allegan. I worked in Allegan for 15 years at Perigo Company, and I was also aware of the politics that went on there. I personally think we would be missing a great opportunity for somebody that has really tried to do the job as treasurer, to do the job as the interim city manager. Things have ran so smooth since she's taken over. It's almost miraculous as to, gee, that office can run smooth, and yet she's still doing the job she's got. I think we're missing a grave opportunity by one, not giving her a chance to continue as the interim, but to not hire her as a city manager and to save a hell of a lot of money to go out and beat the bushes out of the people that you mentioned. She's got the education. She also has the time on the job with Grand Haven and Allegan, and both were successes. So I asked the council to consider what we've got in our hands and not let it slip away.
My comment on that. I think that Lisa's done a pretty good job for what she's been tossed into, and she has grown by leaps and bounds in her area that she's been working and learned to do a lot. I know the things that I asked before I was ever on the council compared to what I ask now, you know, she's got it right there. But my concern at this point in time is we're dealing with the transition for city manager. We don't want to deal with the transition into looking for a treasurer also in the interim sense anyways. And so I would be okay with, you know, opening it up to interviews, but for the time being now, I think we should look at the other candidates as far as an interim. And my opinion on that is we should have somebody local, somebody from the community, somebody that cares about the community, and somebody that's familiar already. I know that Regina's not, she hasn't worked for a city, but she's worked for the township, and she's very smart, and not that you're not, I know that you are too. But as far as the interim goes, I don't want to go from looking for an interim city manager for a treasurer. So that's a big concern I have with that step. Now when it comes down to actually applying for the job, that's a different story, because then we're a little further forward, but we're in need of an extra body also in the city hall to help with things.
She was hired originally when Mr. Marsh came here, and I think it was, what, assistant city manager at that time?
No, I was hired as the treasurer, but
yeah.
my only experience being a treasurer is with Bangor. I've served as city manager for 5 years and an assistant city manager for 10 years.
Right, and
so
you applied for the city manager position originally when Rich came in, and then you ended up as a treasurer. So yeah, I know that she's more than qualified to do that. I just don't want to.
That should count for something, just the education and the time on the job.
Well, there's no guarantees.
I do have a master's, which Ryan didn't have.
Well, the other thing is too, there's no guarantees whoever we put as interim city manager, they'll become the city manager.
Right.
We have two major events we need to address real soon, and one of those will be amending the budget. And the other thing is, once we amend that budget, we understand our budget, and looking for a contract potentially for a DPW. So, you know, those are two major events that we still have to conclude. And what I'd like to think is we need an extra body in there at this time to help oversee each other for checks and balances, so we can get something presented to the city council so we can start moving forward.
I agree with you.
And so based on that recommendation, I motion that right now we put Regina Hoover in there as city manager with no guarantee as interim city manager, that Lisa can reapply, Regina's gonna have to reapply, everybody's gonna have to reapply. We have to get other candidates in there too to review for a permanent city manager position. I think between our treasurer and an interim city manager, they can do the checks and balances, understand the budget, to understand if what we got is accurate, we can propose it, we can amend the budget, or potentially, do we need to go out and get an accounting firm to come in and help review the budget and amend it?
Right.
So that's how serious, and I think we need to do that. And it's nothing against Lisa, the thing is, we need a second set of eyes in there who has some business savvy, who can understand that budget. Because I know when Lisa came in, she came into a hornet's nest with the budget. We had Plan for AIM review it. We had our existing company that did our accounting. And currently, we switched to Gerber. So I think it's very difficult that we get the proper associates in there to review it. It takes a burden away from the city council, so we have a fresh set of eyes, understand what's going on.
Right, and we'd be looking, if we place an interim at this point, we'd be looking within the next 2 months, give or take.
Less than 2.5 months.
That we'd
So
be
we're
looking.
talking
Search
60
costs.
something days.
What would the search cost us for a city manager?
Well, we can also go right away with MLI and do a free search on that, since we do participate.
No, it's not free.
Oh, it's not free?
No.
It'll be about $5,000.
No, but the other thing to consider here too, when we're looking for somebody, you know, everyone said, oh, we'll never find a new police chief, and we had 14 people apply, and look what we ended up with. So, not not trying to, but I'm just saying, you know, it was unusual to get that kind of response compared to some of the other, you know, times that we've looked for applicants, and not saying we'll find someone better than Lisa. I'm not trying to make it sound like that either, or anybody else. I'm just saying, open it up, see what we get, and go from there. I don't want to. I mean, Lisa's already kind of doing both duties, so at this point, it would just be a title change, and we'd still be in the same boat we are in City Hall over the next month or two.
And we put the third body in City Hall, and also, you know, we can also find out if Regina's crossed off the list initially for a city manager's position even. I mean, there's this opportunity to try it.
So I move that we appoint Hoover as acting city manager. And do I need to put a time frame there? Or?
Interim.
I said interim, but
90 days from
The position by April 6th.
okay.
As the city manager.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion on it? Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Koenig?
Yes.
Councilmember Tanner?
Yes.
Councilmember Hicks?
Yes.
Councilmember Bader?
Yes.
Councilmember Fry?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Farmer?
I'm going to recuse myself from the vote.
Mayor Householder?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next thing on the list is the FIFO Act changes.
FOIA.
Euphoria.
Euphoria.
First and, you know, I'm used to my industry. First in, first out.
Very briefly, I just simply need the council to authorize me to work with the city clerk to present the council with a new FOIA policy, to revise the current policy to bring it up to date.
I'll make a motion that we authorize our city attorney to work with the city clerk in reference to setting up the new guidelines under the state law that's just passed for the city.
I'll second.
Any more discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next one is opportunity for public comments. Please state your name, keep your comments.
I'm T. McLaren, and I'd like to invite everyone out to the Bangor Neighborhood Watch. We have that the third Thursdays at 7 p.m. here at the fire station. The classes are presented by Bangor County Sheriff's Department deputies. The next topic is going to be firearm laws. So, everybody is welcome to come out. It's always interesting. Our last hour meeting went to 2 hours with no one sneaking out. Evidently, it was very interesting.
So that's at 7, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Pat Bader. I think that Kim and Lisa's been doing a really wonderful job. I know they've been overworked for several months, and congratulate Regina on board, I guess, and thank the council, and Danny, I think it'll be fine. I mean, I just think that it's gonna help everybody because of the transition, so they've been so overworked. Hopefully they can get a day off once in a while now, since I guess they don't get much time off, so. Good. And
Thank you. No more comments?
I have
Go
a
ahead.
question. I just have a question.
Okay.
Have you guys made a decision on the softball league yet?
No.
I guess we need you to come down from a standpoint, what do you need?
To know if we can do it. Basically.
I thought we did talk about that. I thought we kind of gave you the go ahead to come back.
Well, I wrote the letter, and I was told you guys had discussed it, and I've been in and out of the hospital, so I hadn't had a chance to get back down here. I talked to Lynn in her office the other day, and I had to come down here and talk to you guys. She said next meeting would be better, but never know what's gonna happen with my family.
I think we kind of gave the go ahead when we had talked about it for you to just.
Okay, because I was told that another gentleman was running it, and when I said, well, I had approached the council, and he's got it on Facebook that he's running the Bangor League.
Who's that?
Santo Machado.
He was running it before, but he left it.
We ain't gonna get into that. He did a Donnie Moore tournament, and the money was supposed to go into the ball field, that's what he told all the kids. He used the money to pay for his state, for them to go to a state competition.
That's okay. I
We
mean,
wanna put our money back into the field.
as far as I've seen, she's the only one that's come forward to us and asked us.
Why don't we
I
put
think
that
we
on
need some kind of
agenda
a
for the next
plan.
meeting? Then we can actually get a motion and put it in there where she can officially.
But I think we should have Kathy give us some kind of a plan as to how you're gonna organize it, you know, how you're gonna get your teams.
6 teams, 8 teams, 12
Like,
teams.
how many,
Oh, I'm gonna get as many teams as I can, because it's gonna be good for Bangor.
It'd
Yeah.
be also nice to see what their requirements of the field from the DPW are.
Nothing.
For us, this, that, I mean.
Nothing.
Well, there's a lot, I mean, those bathrooms are maintained.
Well, yeah, the
concessions are maintained.
bathrooms.
There's a lot more that goes into it.
The bathrooms is all that we require. I spoke with you when I did my dad's
But
tournament.
that's what I said, but
Yeah,
that's
basically
on
the
top of the
bathrooms.
letter, just something with intent of when, frequency of unlocking and stuff like that.
It used to be, back when my dad ran the league, he actually, and I know you guys don't do that anymore, but he actually had a key to the bathrooms to unlock the bathrooms and to unlock the gates, because we actually have the field lock. The little shed by the police station used to have a padlock on it where we kept all of our gear. I know now that you guys don't do that. I did have the keys that weekend and returned them to
What we
Kim.
have, what we do is we have a double lock, we have a lock that we have a key to that once it's locked, that we can get into. So if we would give a key out, someone makes a copy, they still can't get in. So if we know the frequency of use, we unlock our lock and then.
Yeah, for liability, we just can't give keys out to someone else.
Right.
But we, cities are responsible to unlock the doors.
Well, we're thinking, you know, I mean, the church league likes it on Tuesday nights, that's how it's been for the past couple of years. They're wanting to play in our league too, so we're looking at 4 nights a week if possible, and then, you know, tournaments on the weekends sometimes. I know
So-
May 16th, I wanna have a
Wait,
tournament for.
you're gonna have this on the agenda for next?
Yeah.
next
So,
month, okay.
and I
just
don't
wanted
think
to
we
make
need
sure.
anything
Yeah.
too specific as far as all the dates. I think to start out, I think we just need basically, you wanna do this, and this is what you're gonna call it, and we can give approval for you to go ahead with that, and
Okay.
then you should be able to submit the dates, right? Is that
Well,
something that makes
it'd
sense?
just be during the week, and then,
Yeah.
like, I just have 2 tournaments that I'm planning, which I've already got my dad's tournament on the calendar. I talked to you, Rick, one of them too, anyway, which should be July 18th and 19th. It's been for this will be my 6th year.
Well, we already have something in place as far as reserving the parks, is that right?
We do, part of the problem is I'm not sure when Kathy wants to start, if she's going to be improving the field, because the school uses that field for soccer practice,
Well,
just
that's-
for their practice.
Once she
So-
figures out her schedule.
Well, we're
then
willing
she
to work
can
around
submit
that,
it.
you know, like start our games, because I know they usually do practice right after school, and it used to be they were done by like 6, and we would start our games at like 6:30. You know, we're willing to work with them. We just want to bring it back to Bangor, give us some business here in town. You know,
Sounds good to me.
present a plan.
The next meeting.
yep.
All right, thank you. Going down the list, we had board commission appointments, correspondence. We did have an opening for the board of review appointment. I would like to appoint Leon Lefty Kristen to the board again. He has been on the board, has had some qualifications and certifications to it. So I guess when I appoint him, I'm saying to the city council. So can I get a motion to accept the reappointment of Leon Lefty Kristen back to the board of review?
I'll make the motion that we appoint Leon back to the Board of Review, and, yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Koenig,
Yes.
Councilmember
Yes.
Councilmember Hicks?
Yes.
Councilmember Bader?
Yes.
Councilmember Frye?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Farmer?
Yes.
Mayor Householder?
Yes. Motion approved. Also in the package was Housing Commission minutes, December 2014. Also the Pride Care Ambulance Report 2014. Any more comments on those? Let's go down the list is city council member comments. Fred, let's start with you, please.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, no disrespect to Lisa, and I certainly hope that she will throw her hat in the pool when we search for a city manager, and congratulations to Regina for accepting the position, and hopefully we can get things in order there, and they can get some time, like you said, time off, and you know, get the city hall working well. I think our first priorities need to be the budget amendment and the PCI negotiation, so hopefully that's something that can be conquered soon after she gets in. And my other thing is, as far as these FOIA requests and all these things, we're spending a lot of time in the city, so basically defending ourselves for everything we do, which is getting to a point where it's basically ridiculous. You know, there's an election for these offices. If someone wants to be on the council, throw your name in the election. But the wasted energy that we're having of defending everything we do is actually getting quite frustrating and ridiculous to me. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Fred. Danny?
Congratulations to you, my friend. And I really agree with everybody when you're saying that with Lisa and Kim, 2 heads in there, I do think 3 will be better. It's going to be a help for Lisa, it's going to be a help for Kim. I know she's more than capable of doing the job. Like I said, we've known each other forever. Like I said, I still go back to my original. I think we're missing a great opportunity for a future city manager with Lisa. She brings a lot of education and a lot of time on the job. And like you said, we've seen a lot of smoothness just since our last city manager left to what we have today. And I'd like to see that continue. I think she's a great person, as I do with Kim. I thank you both for the hard efforts that you guys do. And you put up with a lot of crap in there from just a lot of people coming in and asking silly questions on the outside, not the council, but I'm talking about outside people. And you do a great job. So I thank you for that. I want to thank PCI for the job you guys are doing. I know it's not always easy, and you're getting different things shoved at you all the time. And I thank our new police chief, and I thank our fire chief. You guys are doing a great job. So let's make 2015 a great year, kids.
Thank you, Dan. Harold?
I'm hoping that things will settle down where we can concentrate on what instead of like practicing or stuff all the time. Both the fire department and the police department seem to be functioning really well. And I'm glad that we don't have those headaches to worry about on top of all the other problems we have.
Thank you, Harold. Luke?
Well, I have a little bit written down here. I'd like to say that I'm completely disgusted by the way some people in this community are wasting city resources with ridiculous requests and accusations. These people are a loud minority and clearly do not represent the community as a whole. The city is moving in the right direction. The previous administration put us in a terrible place financially and crippled our local economy and infrastructure. They refuse to take responsibility for the problems they caused and continue to attack the council for the tough decisions we have to make to fix their mistakes. We need to keep moving forward and work on building our local industry and economy, not wasting the taxpayers' dollars. Comment was made that it is our job to spend the taxpayers' money, not save it. That's an example of why the previous administration was not able to balance the budget and maintain positive fund balances. I look forward to seeing all the great things to come from our new police chief and working on a plan to fix our roads and high water bills. And welcome, Regina. Hopefully everything will go smoothly and we can get back on the right track, and I really want to see us fix our roads.
Len?
And contrary to popular belief, I did not know what Luke was going to say or what Fred was going to say, but I do have some notes I'd like to read too. I've had quite a few citizens come into my office to talk to me about the city and the things, of course, they read in the newspaper, all the negative things they read in the newspaper. So my new slogan has "Be part of the solution, not part of the problem." It's a shame that a few citizens are using methods to force our city to use our resources and our taxpayer money not to move the city forward in a positive direction. We are trying to move our city forward to better serve all of the citizens of Bangor. We have a very positive new police chief whose goal it is to make our police department a professional organization, which I have no doubt that she will do, and that we will be proud of our police organization that she's formulating. PCI has made improvements to the DPW building that have been long overdue and long needed. We appreciate you guys doing all the things that you're doing. If you have not visited lately, please call Mark and ask if you can see their facility because it looks fabulous. And thank you so much for caring enough to put your time and energies into our building there. We have a staff in our city hall who has truly come to love the city and its citizens, and we appreciate everything that you guys do. I know I've mentioned it before, the decorations in City Hall made it feel very welcoming. I've never seen our City Hall look so nice at Christmas time. So thank you too for everything that you guys are doing. I wish that we all could be on board with Positively Bangor. Teresa is not back there. I want to thank her. Well, I want to thank her for the effort to put Bangor in a positive light, and I would really like to see all of our citizens participate in being part of the solution, not part of the problem. So the challenge that I'm throwing out tonight is that all of our citizens become part of the solution to make Bangor a better place to live and to be, and I think that we will move our town forward in the direction that we want to do. So that's my comment.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to again thank Lisa and Kim for the job they've been doing. They've really had quite a workload and they've been doing a fantastic job with it. I think that with the addition of the new interim city manager, that's going to take a workload and help out quite a bit, and I think that this will show quite a bit of improvement and taking and getting things solved a lot quicker than what has been, and that's through no fault of Kim or Lisa. I would also like to thank the new chief of police. Her report shows that she's right on the ball and getting things organized. I'm looking forward to seeing the police committee and the police department get busy and work at do the very things that Lynn was talking about moving the city forward in a very positive manner. And I just think that I'm always one that believes that if we have the teamwork to work together. I put 28 years with the military, and one of the biggest things was working teamwork and working together for a common goal, and it works. And so I think if everybody will get on board and work for it, I think we've got an excellent opportunity to really make Bangor a much better place and to bring business in and everything, and that's the name of the game.
And I'd like to add a caveat to my comment. I don't want anyone out there to think that that any of us are saying that they don't have the right to FOIA. They can FOIA whatever they want. It's their right, and as citizens. But, you know, our comment about that it's forcing our two people who are well overworked in the city hall to have to do more work, and it's using the city resources that we could be putting to other means.
All right, you guys are pretty positive today, which is good. I'm gonna let the city know I apologize for how the city was plowed a week ago. We had a school bus get stuck in an intersection in our roads.
That was a good point.
We had multiple people getting stuck in intersections.
That's true.
That is totally unacceptable. I don't care if we got a snowplow truck broke down. If a snowplow man comes to your house and he can't plow your driveway because his truck's broke down, you get somebody else to plow it. We do have a budget, we do spend money, and we're spending money to plow our roads during the winter time. So my recommendation is, you get it done. We got hydraulic holes busted, and we got a foot of snow on the roads. It's a job to call somebody else in there or get something done creatively and plow these roads. We do have a 3/4 ton red truck, 3/4 ton truck with a snowplow. That can clean intersections.
A couple of them.
Yes, we have other vehicles, you know, we got the backhoe. We have other snowplow trucks. It's totally unacceptable to go out there at 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning when these people have to start moving around the city and go to work and they're getting stuck trying to move around, and even those kids in those school buses trying to get to school when the bus gets stuck on a city road. That is totally unacceptable.
Well,
and it's a letdown by the city council, the mayor, and city hall. So next time, we're gonna hold somebody accountable for this, and that's totally unacceptable.
Can I add to that? I was very angry, I guess, to see that they weren't using the plow that goes on the front of the truck. The snow is deep enough to warrant the use that normally is used. That keeps the roads wide, and the roads were way too narrow. The north side of town was a complete mess. Now, they did come and clean it up very nicely, but I think it ended up being almost Tuesday by the time that had happened. And Sunday, we didn't actually get snow, we had melt, a little bit of melt, and so it turned into this thick slush that you just couldn't drive through. And whether there's snow or not, you know, you have to evaluate the situations as they happen, not just, okay, if there's not 4 inches of snow, we don't go out and plow. So I wasn't very happy with that, and I know a lot of people in town weren't happy. There was an accident, a minor incident, I should say, with the salt spreader where somebody bumped the back of the salt spreader, and things like that is a liability, and it just has to be done right. So I know that next time it will be.
So like I said, the emphasis is on this city council, us, and the city hall to make sure the job gets done. We do contract it out, and I'm gonna put the emphasis on our contract group. If they're not getting it done, then they're gonna have to call somebody, or we'll call somebody. And that's easy enough how it's done. We can't let these people down. They expect the roads plowed. And it was pretty damn bad, one of the worst I've ever seen it, with those intersections with all that snow piled up. And that's, you know, one thing's out in the country, but this is in our city. And even the major roads were horrible, what we left it. They speak of the Freedom Act information. They did, you know, request information. I challenge them, why don't they go farther back to the previous administrations of previous DPW people who were fired and how much they've received in settlements and why. So when you want to look at us, look in the mirror and go deeper, and you'll find more problems and bigger payouts. So, you know, I do feel apologetic to Lisa. She has done an outstanding job. I know she's worked a lot of hours, and same thing with Kim. And we really need the extra body in there to help support, and also part of that checks and balances. The thing is, you know, if there's mistakes made, it's not going after somebody who made the mistake. It's also about the checks and balances says, hey, let's correct this. Okay? We're not out to get people in trouble. We're about, you know, when it's ready, make sure it's presentable, so we're moving in the right progress. We have made significant progress over the last 1.5 years, 2 years. Our general funds jumped up to $240,000. And our thing is we need to keep growing. Look at the conditions of the roads and our infrastructure. You know, our balance, we came out of a $100,000 water deficit. You know, we're right around zero. Not good enough. We need to jump up. We need to get into positive money. And same thing, even with our sewer. We need to grow those counts. Then we need to go after and get the grants. So, not recess going backwards, we gotta keep moving forwards. And the challenge there. The historical data is there. I've told you the numbers before. What occurred with those numbers? And hopefully in the next couple of months, you'll get a little flyer in the mail. It's gonna show you that. Okay? And it's a lot of work, and you know, it's always not nice being the top guy when you're pushing, making tough decisions. But you know, the job has got to get done, and you got to hold people accountable. That's what we're doing. We're holding people accountable. We're moving forward. Our funds have to grow. We have to start showing improvements in the city. We've done that, starting with the Arlington project. We do have a road that is nicely paved, and we got to look at doing more. We got to do more of these water lines. More and more issues we keep finding with old water meters. Some sooner or later, we're going to have to replace those water meters and get updated like electronics. Same thing, we need to change those valves, we need to start changing lines, then we gotta repair roads, put new roads in. The only way we're gonna do that is start, you know, this city is smaller than it's been in 20, 30 years. I know I've been here for almost 43 years. You know, the population was over 2,000 people. The census a few years ago was 1,865. I'm a bet, man, it's probably a lot lower than that now, okay? And I'm a strong believer as if the city shrinks, government's gotta shrink. All right, we hate to say that, but that's how it is. And the only way we can grow our government is expand the city. And the first thing is our infrastructure and show them, and we're moving in the right direction. So once again, I'd like to thank Lisa and Kim for their duties. Welcome, Regina. It's not gonna be a nice walk in the park. We're not gonna lay off because we just appointed you. We're gonna expect expectations, and we're gonna be demanding. And we're hoping you're up for the challenge. So based on that, I'd like to have a motion during this meeting.
So moved. Support.
All opposed?
Mr.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?